Later, please. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Live, November 5th, the year 2021, where today, as soon as I get my thing going on, here we go. I'm sure it's popping up just now. Yes. Okay. So we are making a Happy New Year wreath, which I've never done before. Primarily because when I started making wreaths, I just made wreaths for things that I would put on my front door. And it never really dawned on me that you could put them on almost every single holiday. So I never really considered making a New Year's wreath, you know. Normally I think I just would let my Christmas wreath sit on there until Valentine's Day and then I would change it out. Not that anyone paid attention, but I thought we would create a Happy New Year wreath, which is perfect because this sign is not dated. So if you bought it, you could use it every single year. Whether you put it on your wall as decor for your New Year's Eve party, whether you post it, you know, you put it on your front door all the way through Valentine's Day, so all through January. So there's a great many uses in doing that. And then New Year's is always a good thing because we always make, I hate New Year's resolutions because it's like, really, what is a resolution? Let's just goal set for 2022 is really what it is. These are things we would like to change in 2022. So I have my 14-inch Dollar Tree frame set up in the colors based on our sign. This sign is a 10-inch round from Personalize It by Pam, which is on Etsy. So this is my new favorite size sign. So when I do a lot of the rounds, or she even has them in ovals now, which is amazing, it just makes for a really good overall design. So let's get started. Let me make sure I have my pipe cleaners for this color, which is all here. So I've done the first 5 sections, so you guys don't have to watch me do this 5 more times. But I'm going to take one of each color, and I'm going to do this last section. So with the Dollar Tree frame, you have 4 rails. We are going to use these weld marks as a guide to find a midway point here for our pipe cleaner, and we're going to put it around the inner 2 most rings, and you're just going to wire those together or twist it down. Now the reason why I do 2 is it creates stability. If you just tried to wire it around 1, no matter how tight you could tie that around there, it's still going to flip-flop. So when you put it around 2, it creates some stability. Then we're going to use this one and the weld and find a midway point. We're going to take another pipe cleaner and we're going to go the outside too. So we're going to take this one and place this here. We're going to go ahead and do the same on the opposite side. And I just color code mine because they look pretty. Goes with the design. It's like I meant to do that, right? Okay.
Rebecca, thank you for sending 500 stars.
Yes, so the stars, right? Those are the things at the bottom. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you see the little star. What the star is on a Facebook Live. You could donate money in the forms of stars, which are equivalent to 1 cent. So when you do 500 stars, that's basically $5. And so what we're doing all the way through December 12th is we are supporting a family for Christmas in the form of $20 Walmart gift cards, which will go to a needy family within our church group, so that the parents can utilize those gift cards to be able to shop for their kids or to be able to provide food for their Christmas dinner. So all the money that we raised between, I swear I felt like Home Alone there for just 1 minute, where in the episode of Home Alone, it was Lost in New York, where the guy was telling Kevin all the money in the Christmas chest, remember, is going to go to such and such toy donation. Right. So as of from December 1st through December 12th, plus whatever we had left over at the tail end of Thanksgiving is all going to go towards that. So by you guys sending that, that's where that money's going. And then I'll let you guys know right around the 13th or 14th how much money we raised, and we're going to be good. All right.
Kendra, that's awesome. She said New Year's Eve is my birthday.
Oh,
So my wreath is both for
birthday.
party theme. I really like that sign.
Yes, this is gorgeous. So check out the Deco mesh. This is a fabric mesh that has metallic gold foil, and it's got metallic black. And we're going to do Cruffles. A surprise. A change from regular ruffles. I'm looking to see if my little, here it is, my chippy clip is available. So I'm doing 30-inch ruffles. Why, Kat? This looks like good Deco mesh. Sometimes when I do Cruffles, I see gaps. I'm not exactly thrilled. So there's just like little areas you have to kind of maneuver your Cruffles in. So this way I went a little thicker so I could have more on the Cruffle side and then more on the ruffle side, I guess. So we're gonna push that all the way out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll up 5 times, starting about 1 inch on our Deco mesh. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put a chip clip here so we can keep that curl. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now I'm going to go right down this middle line, and I'm going to pull that mesh towards me, undo the chip clip, and we're going to start on the inside. And I'm going to go ahead and put this here. I am removing the inside 6. So the way that we have it set up right now is there's 6 on the inside, 12 on the outside for a grand total of 18.
Candace, thank you for sending 200 stars. Jenny, thank you for sending 50 stars.
Thank you guys so much for that.
Linda, you'll have to let us know. She said, hey, Kat, just got home from working the Polar Express train.
Ooh.
Love the sign. So what's that about, Linda?
Polar Express?
Yeah, she said working the train.
Yeah.
So
you can actually buy train tickets and go on the Polar Express, and you drink hot chocolate and all that stuff, and they go from like point A to point B or whatever. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, you haven't heard that?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
She's working it though, so that's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm sure she'll be able to elaborate. So we're going to do this 18 different times. 2, 3, 4, 5. And see how it's going to create more of a ruffle in the middle. It's a lot of a thicker bundle.
And then Debbie said, I sold my first wreath. I'm so excited and yet nervous.
Congratulations.
Pray all goes well. Congrats, Debbie.
I can tell you it never gets old. Every sale feels just like the first one. But the first one is a little on the scary side.
Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy's on.
Hi, Jimmy. Okay, so here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can ask Jimmy, is Rusty with you? Okay, doing the same thing here.
Yeah, Frank said the Polar Express train goes out of Owasso, Michigan, but you have to book it a year in advance because it's
wow, that's crazy.
Thanks, Frank.
See? So now Steve just got, now he knows. He'll be like, oh. Yeah, I think they do it. Remember the train that you can take out of Williams?
Yeah.
I think they do that too. Certain trains do that during the holiday period. So you can see how, like, if I left this here, there's like a gap. I don't like gaps. So I just kind of crisscross them. So they crisscross and close the gap. So that's the downside to the ruffle. But it gives you the illusion of curls and ruffles. My 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 6. I want them a little thicker.
Thanks, Anna, for sending 200 stars.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nancy for sending 310 stars. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
Montiel, the Tinted Deco mesh is from Craft Outlet.
Cut to 30-inch pieces.
Cut to 30-inch pieces. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. I totally forgot to say where. I think most of the supplies are Craft Outlet, unless they tell you different, that we're using tonight, like a lot of the ribbon. I think there's just one or two. One's from like Hobby Lobby, and I think one's from Shinoda. So same thing, crisscross. So see how they just kind of fall in these random little crevices, which is kind of nice because it looks like little festive what do they call them? The little noisemaker horns.
So each bedroom piece is cut to 30 inches.
Push. It's getting a little crowded in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, most of the time when I was doing Cruffles, I was only doing 25-inch pieces. But either way, when you go that big on your Cruffles, you're going to go beyond, even if you did 25 inches, you're still going to need 2 rolls of Deco mesh.
Thank you, Joan and Peggy. Peggy Forms and Joan Frank. They both each sent 500 stars. Wow, that's awesome, gals.
Thank you, ladies. I so appreciate
really
that.
Make the family so appreciative during Christmas.
I'm going to take my pipe cleaners and pull them to the outside so I can find them again. And this one's going to it'll get help from this one.
Anna sent another 200 stars. Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, Anna. Now, I caught it, but I had to get it off the little step.
Rhonda said I sold 5 centerpieces today.
Nice.
I only need 4 wreaths, 10 centerpieces, and a mailbox bag. Thank you for teaching us.
2, 3, 4, 5. But the great thing is right now with centerpieces, it just depends. Like, you're starting to now understand your own client base. So, like I said, if I was doing craft fairs right now, it would all be small stuff. I might bring a couple of wreaths just for people who might be looking. But the majority of it would just be simple, you know, things that people could pick up and take with them. Plus, if you bring wreaths, don't forget to advertise that you're saving $30 because you're not having to have to ship. See how they just all kind of, they like interweave. Okay. Now I can move.
The sign, once again, was from Personalize It By Pam.
Yes.
The finished sign.
So I think I don't know. I may have ordered it. I think I ordered it. Or she may have sent it to me. Sometimes, a lot of times, if you place a lot of sign orders, you'll just start getting random signs tossed into your order. So I was super excited because I've had New Year's Eve embellishments for a while. But I just was like, do I want to do New Year's Eve?
And the mesh is fabric mesh, so this is something that you cannot use the wood grain tool.
Thank you for catching that too. Yes, you rotary cutter only.
Right. But because your curls are curled in, you won't have a lot of fraying.
Right. Perfect. Man, I feel like you're like the disclaimer thing, which is true. So the reason why you do Cruffles, number one, is the illusion of Cruffles and ruffles. But remember, these are where it's all going to fray, is on the cut edge. So by curling them, we're tucking them on the inside where they don't get played with, which means we shouldn't really have much fraying. You might occasionally have some that pops up. Right now it feels very Egyptian-y to me. Like all the black and gold, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You can say no. You don't have to agree.
No, it does. It absolutely does.
Because I think we... Go ahead.
Loretta, what's the best container to store wreaths in between occasions? Just a box, as long as it'll fit in the box, right?
I don't like to store them in a box. Because... 4, 5. Sometimes it just depends on what they're made out of. Sometimes if they're in there pretty snug, they can take on the shape of the box.
Right. But like if you sell a wreath to somebody, right, and it goes in a box that ships to them,
yes,
they should use that box to be able to store it.
Yes, as long as they remember that. Most times though, they kind of they cut the boxes open. I don't know why. You know, or sometimes you don't even know how that box is going to arrive. You know, it could look like it's been stomped on by your local carrier. Hopefully not.
Nancy, you really shouldn't need the SKU number for the mesh. Just log into Craft Outlet and just type in the search black and gold fabric mesh.
That's all it's called, is thin striped fabric mesh, black and gold.
Yep. Kat gives the SKU numbers to everybody in the private group. And Diane, yeah, Kat has her YouTube video. There's so many videos where you can just watch how she does the beginning of the video on the placement of the pipe cleaners. You'll be able to get it really easily. And
the fact that we kind of do that every single time I open one of my public lives. And it's not that, you know, I'm doing it because sometimes the first person who's seeing this video is a new person. And I never assume that people automatically know what, you know, how to do it. So we just don't do all 6. We just do the one. Yeah. Lifting. There's another loaded question. What's that? What do you do with all the wreaths you make? What do I do with all of them? Well, she sells most of them. The ones she doesn't sell, they're all over the house. Yeah, they get incorporated into the home decor. If it's non-seasonal, they get stored in the closet because they, you know, they're only 6 inches. So I just stick a hanger through the back of them. I just hang them up in the closet. Mm-hmm. So, and then they're dust-free and odor-free, and, you know, I don't have critters crawling on them. Yeah. And, yeah, then they're easy to find because we just sort them by season in the closets. And since we don't really have any kids in the house anymore, nope. We have them in all the closets. That almost. Well, except the craft room closet, because there's no room in the craft room. But in the craft room, they're all hung up on the top part of the wall. So, yeah, they just kind of get integrated into our home's decor. And you just honestly never know who's going to wander through your home. You know, I've had people who had housekeepers who didn't realize that the homeowner made wreaths, and that led to a sale for somebody. So you just never know. Could be someone who's coming to visit your home for a service, and then they see all your wreaths. And then that leads to a conversation for sale. You know what this also reminds me of, Steve? Umbreon. Oh, yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Black and gold. Black gold. Okay. So I'm always making sure to keep my pipe cleaners to the outside so that when it comes time for us to utilize those, I know where they are. Hi, Rosario. She says, hello, everyone from New York. Welcome. I bet it. Is it cold in New York right now? Okay. It's a good idea storing in hangers in the closet. That was like the best thing ever. There's some people who just go to like Walmart or what do you call them, like clothing stores that are going out of business, and they buy the clothing racks and they just put them in their garage and they put their wreaths on them. And they just store them like that. It's freezing here. Oh, I wish it was freezing here. It was another 70-something degree day here, and I loathe it. Kathy, when we hang them on the wall, I'll either use a thick, sturdy nail, or I'll put a little screw in the wall. And I try not to do it on our regular big walls, but in our closets, we've got a walk-in closet in our room. Oh yeah, so it's huge. Yeah, it's huge. I've got one whole side that's nothing but wreaths. Yep. And we just hang it on a 14-inch frame. You fit them where you can. Yep. That's what you do. And when people come over and visit, like I said, you know, a lot of them that are left for this season, we just gift them. Gift them or store them. There's some that are gonna turn it into either a, what do you call them? A wreath makeover.
Mm-hmm.
There's some this year that are gonna get serious wreath makeovers.
Diana brought up something interesting that you probably should do.
What's that?
On YouTube, or just do it live on nothing but placing the stem, the pipe cleaners on the wreath,
Uh-huh.
and that's it. And just do like a quick 15-minute video or something.
I could do that.
Yeah, and then stick it on YouTube.
I would be happy to do that. See, I love your suggestions because sometimes they're so simple and you're like, why would anyone want to watch a video about how to put pipe cleaners on a Dollar Tree wreath form? Well, because people are inquiring and that's what they want to know. Look how thick and gorgeous that's going to look. So, okay guys, there you go. 3 more pieces to go. So you see doing a 30-inch cruffle on this, even though this is really super thick Deco mesh as it is, it's really good quality. But I just really wanted to bulk this up. So I wanted some pretty meaty curls.
Perfect. I totally love that mesh. Yep. From Craft Outlet. Just have to search for the black and gold fabric mesh.
Mm-hmm. They actually even have it in black and red too. Okay, this is
great for Valentine's.
Which, yes, would be.
Present.
Yeah, we just use the black and red for Valentine's Day in the private group.
The mesh is cut to 30 inches. It's a cruffle design. Or others would say woodland ruffle.
Okay, here we go. 3, 4, 5. I'm cheating, I'm doing 6. But I'm not really doing full rolls, right? So that would be 1. That would be like 2.
Oh, she used to really just use the 12-inch signs, but now that more of the sign makers are making 10 inches,
oh yeah,
she loves the 10 inches now.
Yeah, because, you know, when you're doing, I think it's not really 12 inches, it's like 11.75. When you go to put those on a 14-inch frame, I mean, you're really taking up a lot of real estate. And then if you want to do a lot of embellishments or add, you know, a lot of ribbons, you're fighting for placement, trying to figure out, you know, where's it all going to go? How much of the bow do I really need to pull off to the side so that you can see the sign? Here's that one. Last one.
Melissa, with this, because it's 30 inches on each piece, she's using about a roll and a half.
Yeah, I did. Easily.
So there's 30 feet in a roll.
Yes.
For 10 yards.
Yes. Whoop. Trying to get that one in there. And get those ones too. There we go. Kind of luck. There we go. Look how pretty. Isn't that just, ugh, it's so nice and pretty and full. I love it. Okay, so ready for the ribbons? Because that's the next part, right? Ribbons. I feel like one of those Japanese restaurants where they prep your stuff because I have a little cart. I just pull it. Okay, now I have all the ribbon done.
Well, they said okay because I get 12 inches and it doesn't come out pretty.
What, for the cruffle?
No, it's when she uses a 12-inch sign.
Oh, yeah. So try the 10-inch. Because sometimes the 8 feels a little too small.
Yeah.
But I usually will gravitate to an 8 over a 12 because then it gives me more freedom. Okay, so look. We are using 2 different types of 2.5. So we're doing a diagonal, gold, cream, and white, 14 inches. Where'd that come from? Where is my...
The gold edge, 2.5 inch?
No, the diagonal one. Where? My roll is missing. Should we leave it on the table? Probably. Yeah, it's right here. It is Joanne. Joanne's 2.5 inch.
Gold. It's just gold cream white metallic ribbon.
Yes, Joanne's.
Okay.
And then the velvet with the gold iridescent is from.
The velvet.
Yeah.
With the gold edge is from Craft Outlet.
Craft Outlet, but it's really expensive ribbon. So like $15.99 a roll. But you're only using just a little bit. So we're only using 6 pieces plus what's on the bow, which is basically, let's be honest, it's going to basically be about 7 feet out of a $15.99 roll. But it's so well worth it. It's just nice. It's touchable. So we're going to alternate these all the way around the outside. And since we're going to double duty this, we have Swiss Dot on gold, which is from Craft Outlet. And then we have this black and gold, which is from Hobby Lobby this year. And these are both cut to 18-inch pieces. So we are going to take the Swiss Dot, it's going on top of our velvet, and then the striped is going on top of the diagonal stripe. So I'm going to tag team these so we can kind of get through it. So we're going to start with tails, which is fold them in half. They're already dovetail cut. And then you're going to go up to the middle. You're just going to pinch that in. Just kind of give it a slight little bend. Okay, that's going inside first. I'm going to give it one twist on the pipe cleaner. We're going to go ahead and fan those out. Just like that. And then we're going to take our 18-inch piece of 1.5 inches. You're going to bring your dovetailed edges together. You're going to go up to the top and you're going to pinch in 2 inches from the top. So there you go, 2 inches from here to your pinch. And that's going to go right on top of this. And we're going to do about 5 twists. And we're going to cut our pipe cleaner down to about 1.5 inches. So we're going to open this up. You have to right side one of your tails. And then you want to open that loop. Okay, just like that. And then what we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking metallic balls like this. There's a whole bunch of different colors in here. We're going to be taking those and placing these on the outside.
And like Ida, that's why she's not cutting off the pipe cleaners on the outside portion.
Can you grab me the white? I have a couple in here.
The inside she cut off right because the sign's going to cover the inside.
I don't want to do the rose gold ones.
White.
Yeah, I have like these white little pearly iridescent pieces. So those are going to go on there. Just like that. So that's how the finished section of like the velvet ribbon's going to look. Just like that. Just like that. So we're going to keep going around and I'm just going to finish up these sections. We'll come back to the tail end and I'll just go through really quick and put all these on the ends. It's in the red and white. Is it in there? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Pink on them. It's the iridescent.
Look in. Okay. Okay, there's that one. Here's our iridescent. We're just gonna pop this open. Pop this. Because sometimes you have to get underneath the ribbon right when it goes into the pipe cleaner, because otherwise it divots downward and just pop them up and make them arc up. So same thing, 2 inches from the top. Oh yay, I like those ones.
Yeah.
Those are pretty. They have like gold glitter on them. I like white with gold glitter. And you have to be really careful with this ribbon because it's attached or it's glued down the center. So if you pull too hard on this one, it will separate. So I'm going to show you the other ones he found. So these are all from Hoblob. Look at how pretty that is. So that one's got gold glitter on it. And it goes perfect with our little gold balls.
Hoblob is crafter's term for Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby, sorry. I sometimes forget that. Terminology, break down the terminology. Like the Cruffles, you know, it's just curls and ruffles combined is where the name originated from. Deco mesh or fabric mesh. You can find that sometimes in your local craft stores. But if you're looking for something specific like this black and gold, unless that's something that that craft store is going to come out with that year, you're not going to probably find it.
I think Sharon said this is what I was waiting for.
What's that?
For you to make a wreath like this.
The gold?
But that's kind of cut off. Her writing got cut off.
Aww. Okay. Squishy squish.
It's already texted on there too that the wreath is already available on the website under this sign, picture of the sign.
Yeah, it's just the picture of the sign. Because, you know, you haven't made it yet, so you don't really know what it's going to look like. So you can just put a placeholder there.
Brenda, yes, absolutely. Right at the very end, she would go back and glue all the
Pipe
balls on the
cleaners.
pipe cleaners. Yeah.
Yes. Nobody wants to watch you do all that. They're like, move on. Hurry up. Okay. There's that. Put this one here. And it's super easy to glue the balls on the end because the pipe cleaners are so stiff. And this, you know, you're just basically putting it into styrofoam.
Jean says adorable cat.
There we
She was the
go.
one that said there's going to be a really severe storm watch up in upstate New York.
Really?
Yeah, so
Hmm.
you're safe. Hope your power doesn't go out like ours did last night.
Yeah, we lost power for 4 hours. Now you would think in the middle of the night, who cares? Trust me, it suddenly is very dark when you have no power in your house. Because I was like trying to figure out why was it so dark when I was making my way, you know, to the restroom. And I was like, I can't sense things. It's like that thick of a blackness. And then I was like, something's up. And then of course you drop your phone because you're using your phone as a flashlight. And then you go to flick the light on and you're like, why is there no power? Why do we not have power in the house?
And then we went around flicking on
Every light, like
lights. And
like
then when
maybe
the power
it's just
came back
this one.
on at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot. We turned all the light switches on. So yeah, when the power comes back on, it's like, hi, power's back on.
So now I get at 3:30, turn off all the lights.
That is so true. Yeah, I did not know that. Because you got to wake up and see, is it just your house? You know, what's going on with the weather? Why did we lose power? So of course you got to go take a peek outside and it is pitch black. Like no street lights on, no nothing. It's just very creepy feeling. I think it's so funny because I get notifications from our power company. Hi, we're just letting you know there was an outage. Hi, do you know that your computers don't work? You know, no one's going to think, well, let me check my email and see if there's something from the power company, which came at like 7 o'clock this morning, which is why send that out now. Nobody cares. But I guess they did their due diligence. And then they were saying our power was not supposed to get restored until today at 7. So thank you for your hard workers that get alerted whenever there's a power
Yeah.
outage and they have to go out to try to get everyone's power back on.
Yeah.
Makes you grateful for little things. Like this morning I woke up and I thanked God for the thing that we take for granted every day. That when I go to turn the light switch on at night, I expect there to be light.
And you didn't even notice. 3:30 this morning, I was setting clocks back to the right time.
No, I didn't. I did not notice that you had done that, but thank you for that. Yeah, then you have to reset all your clocks back. And then I was thinking we were going to have to reset all of our alarms and all of our cameras. Was not looking forward to the wake up. What do you guys think of the ribbon choices so far?
Fun when I said that they look really classy and elegant.
Cool. That's what I was hoping for. I thought I had like a black and gold 2.5 inch, but you know when I'll find it? After I made this one. So see how those divot in? You want to take your fingers in and push them so they pop out. And then they have a really nice arc. So we're doing a couple things at the same time. We're tackling a slight embellishment.
Jane says she lives in the country, so no streetlights. Well, that's a good thing.
But I'm sure you're used to certain things being on. You know, like,
Yeah, night light or...
yeah, you don't really like the light on your TV when it's on standby, or just like, you know, your phone being on its charger. Just the slightest little things when you suddenly have none. It's very creepy.
Like, we still use our microwave fan, which is above our stove, as a nightlight. We still
Yeah.
put it on every night.
That's very true.
I think the older generation does that. The younger generation, I don't think does that.
I don't know. Very weird.
Maureen, hi gals, just joining.
Welcome to those of you joining. Hey, let me know where you guys are from. I'd love to know how far, like where you guys are joining us from. Because we originally scheduled Sunday nights late so that we'd have a lot more people from the West Coast, because I kind of felt like I was leaving the West Coast people out when we did some of our lives.
I think it's still mainly more East Coast people. Maureen's from Staten Island, New York.
Welcome. I think we're about halfway.
Jane is up there from upstate New York.
Okay.
So is upstate, Jane, is that Buffalo for you? Or near that?
Rochester.
Rochester?
That's where my dad's from.
Kendra's from Michigan.
Welcome.
Sandra's from Mississippi.
Okay, so yeah, still East Central.
The first state I learned how to spell.
Mississippi?
Yep.
And that's a hard state to spell.
Learned it forwards and backwards.
I know you do. You have that little jingle.
Yep.
Crazy.
Everybody should know.
Where did you hear that from, that jingle that helps you? Was it school?
Yep, teacher just taught it to us.
Huh.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. P-P-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-N.
You're so weird. Useless things, but
Yep.
in that case, it has some value, right?
Linda's from Washington State. That's right. Jane's from Iowa.
Okay, so see?
Claire's from Arkansas. Jane's from Alabama. Laura's from Pennsylvania. Melissa's from Texas.
Wow.
Jane said between Rochester and Buffalo, New York. So this is great because we got somebody from most of the states. Laura's from New Jersey.
Yeah, see, my dad was born and raised in Rochester, New York. He said he's dying to go back there. So, he's trying to convince me to take a trip. He's like, I want to go back.
Virginia.
Ah, I love Virginia.
Sandra's from Riverview, Florida.
Wow, that's a really big one. A big and a small.
Kendra said I just said that too.
Oh,
She spelled it out.
the Mississippi thing?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But thankfully, there are some useful things that we learned growing up. like you said,
Yeah.
learning how to spell Mississippi or...
Well, for the longest time, you used to be able to say the states in alphabetical
I still
order.
can. I can name all 50 states in alphabetical order,
Yep.
thanks to a song that we learned in choir. So yeah, I was telling Steve, yeah, just in case I'm ever on a game show and they ask me to do that, and be like, oh man, I have this one. I could do this.
Michelle said the same thing. That's how I learned to spell Mississippi.
The same song,
Yep.
probably.
Candace is from Virginia. She said your ribbon choices and mesh go well together.
Thank you.
Audrey's from Snowy, Michigan.
The things we learn in school. Or just the things that we learn. Like Saturday morning cartoons were educational. I mean, that's where we
Yeah.
learned what an adverb was. All the Schoolhouse Rock stuff.
Oh yeah, those are classics.
Yeah.
Conjunction, junction.
Yes, now we know what a conjunction was. Yeah, all that stuff. See, not everything was useless. A lot of it is useful. Okay, we're nearing the end. We've got 3 more.
Ladies from Missouri. Sam said this is your best one yet from Riverview, Florida.
Aw, thanks. I love the colors on this. Although one of these times I do want to do an Egyptian inspired design. I don't know why. I just love black and gold. I think it's very classy, very elegant, very 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gatsby, the golden age of Hollywood.
Kim said we almost be the same age. Yeah. I'll either retired or wish we could retire.
Well, I enjoy what I do. So I would miss this. I would still do this. Even if I was retired. Who am I kidding? This is my job.
Joanne, yes, we are in California, but wishing and hoping we will be able to move soon. Just don't know where yet.
We're praying on that. I know where I want to live. And the only thing keeping me here, like I said, is we have some family here. And I love our church. I really and truly do. We've been blessed to have learned so much in a very short span of time.
Lisa Riggs Vasquez says 50 Nifty United States song. We learned it in choir too.
Okay, I think that was the song.
50 Nifty?
Yeah, I don't think I remember the beginning part. I just remember the state part.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the thing. The name of the song. Kids should know that.
Oh, it's funny. I don't remember ever learning that song.
Were you in choir?
No.
Well, there you go.
Were you in choir?
I was in choir, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one of the songs that we had to learn for who knows what we were doing. I don't know if we were doing some sort of, maybe it's for like 4th of July assembly or something.
Joanne, we're pretty close then. We're up in Victorville. Joanne said in Riverside, California.
Oh, nice.
And Debbie is down there in Ontario.
Ontario. Yeah.
Debbie Camacho. You got a couple.
Okay. Last one. Last one. Okay. Scrunch up. Bend down. Open this up.
Joanne said I don't like it here. Yeah, unfortunately, from California, most Californians would say no.
Don't like it here.
Don't like it here.
Yeah. But I always say if all the light, right, all the believers, if all the believers in California left, then California would just become a very dark place.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like God's told us we have to stay here for now. That's why I can look back on Facebook posts from 10 years ago that says, well, thankfully this is our last year in California. And we're still here. I'm like, remember when I posted this and said we were going to be out? And yet here we are.
Her said her baby sister was born in Victorville.
Oh,
Joanne
nice.
said her son works at Lowe's in Victorville, so I'm sure we've probably seen these things.
How funny. Because we only shop, why am I putting rose gold on there? We only shop at Lowe's. Lowe's. Okay, there we go. So those are all on, which means that I can cover these before I knock them over. That has just been like my trend today, is I've knocked all kinds of stuff off and over. So I'm trying really hard to be good and put things away. So even if I bump them, the lid's on. Okay, you guys ready to build the bow? Look at how pretty that is.
Hi, Debbie.
It almost doesn't need a
Hi,
bow.
Richard.
Okay.
I said I moved to Arkansas from Modesto.
Okay. So I'm grabbing all the ribbon. There we go. Okay. So I think I will put our diagonal on the bottom. I'm thinking. So if I do it that way, I'm going to go ahead and just pick ribbons. The 1.5" glitter is from Shinoda. You have our Swiss dot. Here's the black and gold. And then I think I'm going to pair it. This is like a birch bark, but it's a dual-sided ribbon. It's gorgeous. So it's gold on one side and has like a birch bark cream and gold print on it, which came from 5th Street Studios. So there we go. I think that's my ribbon combo. So let me set this aside. We're going to use the Bow Dabra. I'm going to use the formula that is my standby, since I know how big this should be. We're going to dovetail, which is just a fancy way for putting the little V in the bottom of your ribbon. So we're going to bring wired edges together. You're going to cut from the folded side to the wired point end. I always have people who say, can I cut from the wired side up? Yes, just make sure you're starting from the end, not up here. If you start up here and cut towards the folded end, you get a point. So, and then depending upon how high up on the fold you are, it depends, it will vary how thick or how deep your V will be. And this one's going to be 10 inches. So we're just going to gather in at 10 and then twist. We're going to go ahead and slide that down into the Bow Dabra. We are going to loop that around and twist again. And I'm just going to measure this to make sure the length of my bow loop is 5.5 inches.
Claire said, I hope you got the message I sent you a few days ago.
Clara, don't know. If you sent me a message, I've replied to you. Did you email it to me or did you instant message me? Because sometimes instant messages get lost. Okay, so we're going out back to 10. Dovetail this really quick. Again, this ribbon was from Joann's last year. This one, Joann's had good ribbon I really wanted.
Richard Ruby said he moved from Modesto to Arkansas.
How funny.
That's where our oldest daughter is in Modesto.
Wonder if she'll move to Arkansas at some point. So again, we're always just dovetailing the ends. And this one's going to be 9.5 inches is going to be our tail length, but we have a really thick band. It's a metal band that's on here. So that's going to be challenging to gather and twist because it's going to stay in there pretty thick. But we want a loop size of about 5 inches. So we're bringing it down about 1/2 inch. So I always bring it back to the 10. So that's right about 5 inches right there. Do the same on the other side. since I know how far I had to pull the other one. See, that's the same. Pull that one back. And then 9.5 inches out. Go ahead and cut
Which
that.
is there in Jacksonville, Arkansas, or are you in Jacksonville, Florida now?
I think it's Jacksonville, Arkansas. It's just one of those cities that have
several.
Yeah, several states share the name. Okay, now we're gonna take glitter, which is just glitter everywhere. Dovetail this one. And Shinoda, where I got this ribbon, is a wholesaler, but you can shop from them online. You just have to have your business license or seller's permit. So we're 9 inches in, and then we're gonna do 4.5 inch loop.
Sharon said the ribbon is very rich looking.
It is.
Richard, our oldest daughter, took a very lucrative job in the health industry. She's an echo tech. It's a really long name. Echo stenographer.
There you go. Now you got echo in there helping you because you said that word, right? It's going to help you. Cardio echo sonographer is the official term. Now mine is going off. I have one in my office and Steve has one out here. So I can hear it in my office doing the same thing.
Richard, no, not Kaiser, it's Sutter.
Sutter Memorial.
Sutter Memorial.
Pulling this out. This is the one we have to be careful of. So you can see how very gingerly they have glued that metal to the thick black edge. So this one is going to be 8.5 inches. And it's also going to be a 4.5 inch loop. Okay, we are pulling in. Because the bottom one's already measured at 4.5, I don't have to constantly like remeasure the loop size again. I just put it in and just pull. And we need to remeasure 8.5 inches. Dovetail the end. This one's done.
That was a great story about Kaiser and my family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Lenore asked you, Pat, where would you like to move to?
If God granted me the wishes of my dreams, if He granted me the wishes of my dream, it would be Whitefish, Montana. But I will take Kalispell, Montana. It's just outside Glacier National Park. Have you ever been there, Kat? Nope. Not at all.
But we need to be willing to look around in Wyoming or Idaho.
I just want to live in the mountains where you get the 4 seasons, all 4 seasons. Yes, I want the extreme winter. Yes, I want mild, somewhat summers.
Mm-hmm.
So, both of those areas, though, to move to are extremely expensive. Because that would be considered like one of the prime places to live if you were to move to Montana.
Isaiah said Montana. Claire said I would move to Maui.
You would get really bored with the island, only being able to go so far.
Yeah. It just depends.
This one, okay, so this had 4-inch loops and a 8-inch tail. So you can see that wants to pop out. We're doing the last ribbon, which is our Swiss dot, which will tie everything into the design. Last one.
Well, this is a good choice. Western Montana is beautiful. I've been to Kalispell.
That's where we're gonna take vacation, I think, this year. Somewhere between the spring, late spring, early, before the summer temperatures get a little too hot.
Everyone else has moved to Rhode Island, you'll get everything you just described.
Our oldest daughter used to live in Rhode Island.
Jill says she has family in Missoula and Big Fork.
Oh, nice.
So their children live there. It's beautiful. But I heard Missoula is kind of flat. It's flatlands. Big Fork, I think, is more mountainy.
I'm trying to get that to stay so long enough just for me to cut. And I do have something to share with you. I kept it over here. I'll show you. Get these scraps off of here. So just in case you ever think that expensive ribbon doesn't have splicing in it, yes, they do. They splice just like all the others. So you can't have that in there. So that was the only reason I was saving that piece, Steve. He's like, why are you saving this piece of ribbon? Like, I have a purpose for it. Really, I do. Did I put... Oh, I think I put the pipe cleaners in the top. Yes, I did. Okay. So we're going to do white pipe cleaner. We're going to pick up the giant stack of ribbon we have here. We're going to push down, and then we're going to like pinch that because we really want to hold on to that stack. So twist the material and just hold the pipe cleaners. It's so much easier on your hands that way.
North Idaho is great. Yeah, there's only a little sliver in North Idaho. That's like
just
Port
like
Arlene.
it's like this. It's like the inch on our cutting thing. Okay, let me move these so I have access to my glue gun. Okay, so I'm gonna get my new fluff board. So if you guys saw, I posted pictures of it yesterday. As much as it pains Steve, he did actually put the what do you call it, cup hook in the center of this. So this was handmade for me by a very dear friend who combined walnut, maple, and pine, I believe is what he told me, to make me a 24 by 24 by 3/4 inch thick fluff board. So I've been waiting for this for a long time, but I can't wait to show you how wonderful it makes your bows look. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my stack under, because man, I put that in there tight this time. There we go. Okay, so it goes under your C-hook, and all that does is prevent it from sliding, which is all we really need as a bow maker. And then what we're gonna do now is fluff. Well, not fluff. We separate and then we fluff. So you're gonna take your loop, move it off to one side, and your tail off to the other. Doesn't matter, you can put it right or left. Just whatever you do on the top, you gotta do opposite on the bottom. So we're gonna pick this one up. We're going to move our tail out to the side and our loop right there. So loops are directly across from each other, tails are directly across, and then we're gonna do the same as we work our ribbon down. So we have our loop here. I'm going to take this and pull this off to the side. This is super thick ribbon. Go back over to the other side. We are going to take our loop, pull our loop off here, and move our loop down here. So what it's done is it has alternated the tails and the loops. So each time we bring one more down, like one more set of two down, it's just gonna keep separating. So you can decide which way you want, you know, your tails to be or the loops to be. Like if you don't want gold on top of this, maybe you wanted gold on top of that, you can change it up at any point. Just whatever you do up here, do opposite on the opposite side. So I'm gonna have that over here. We're gonna move the tail, and here's our loop. Okay, we're going to go down here, following the gold again. So there's that. There's that. We are going to go opposite here. There's that one. And this one. Now, once you have it separated, this is where you're going to start the fluffing. So you're going to start at the top. You're going to lift up and pull. You can arc your tails. You'll grab your next set. Go ahead and fluff those up. This is where, as you're starting to fluff, you're going, oh, I kind of like how the black goes between those. That looks nice. Okay, so make sure when you do that, go over to your other side and make sure you've got it happening on the other side. And I kind of like the gold peeking out over here. So I'm going to do the same over here. And then...
A lot of people saying, love the board.
Isn't that board gorgeous?
Yep.
So it has so, like, I came across a new use for it today. I'm going to share that with you too. I like things you don't even think about when you're like, oh my God, I can also do this. It can also do that. Okay, so let me show you.
Yeah, one of my lifelong friends that I've known since high school made it for Kat.
We support small business owners. That's just what we do. So when he told us, you know, I saw that he had posted stuff on his Facebook page, and I'm like, babe, do you know that he's doing this? We should order some stuff.
He doesn't really want to move this into a big full-time business, so he's able to make a couple here and there, but
I encourage him to make this this might be your next calling. You're very talented in that area. Okay, so I'm just moving.
Sam said the bow and the bow board are gorgeous.
So I'm just moving these around in whatever pattern I want for the board. Okay, so this is what I discovered. Here's how you can tell if your tails are even, because I figured this out. I was like, oh, this would be so nice. I call this a bow presentation board. Why? How else can you display your gorgeous bows and post pictures of them? This right here frames what it is that you made. This is the start of your bow. So it's a really nice way to be able to display your bows, right? It looks gorgeous. But you can also tell if your tail lengths are even. So you can look and go, look, this one's a little bit longer than this one. Need to trim that up. Same thing. You can do that on all of yours. I actually had one that was pretty much like 2 or 3 inches longer. And I was like, oh, I need to trim that one up. So I am going to trim this off just a touch, because this is the one that was just a little bit longer. So no big deal. Now they should be roughly the same. Sometimes it happens, but isn't that pretty? Okay, let me get this one back over here so we can see all those colors coming through. So there's the bow. Gorgeous. It's a bow display board / fluff block / I don't know. Then you're going to take it off the exact same way you put it on. Just like so. We're going to set that aside, and look, it's been christened by glitter. So, sorry, Rusty. It's just going to sparkle as well. But yeah, it's super pretty. So, that one's done. And the weight on this is nice, because the one thing you want on a fluff board is weight. So you can really work your ribbon. Okay. Favorite part, putting it all together, right? So look, ready to see this line? I'm sure you're imagining it, but look, isn't that just gorgeous? You almost don't even need a bow. If you wanted to, you could just let that present as it is. Yeah. It's really that nice. But we're just going to move it slightly down and to the right. And then we're going to take our bow and we're going to place our bow up here. And we're going to allow the bow to kind of gently frame the edge of our clock, but so that we can still see the Happy New Year. So roughly that's where it's going.
Where did you find that wonderful ribbon board? I've got to get one.
Awesome. You can email me and I could get you his information. Okay.
Just know it'll take quite some time, and it's the wood, especially with the price of wood going up. It's not cheap.
But I can tell you, it's worth it because I've had people make me things from wood before, and it's okay. But this, it's like master craftsmanship. So there's that. We did that with a 1.5 millimeter beadsmith hole punch. So if you want something that works just like a hole punch for your signs, you can pick that up on Amazon. I'm going to use 22 gauge floral wire to attach this to my wreath. Because we're using fabric mesh, it makes it so much easier to go through.
Rusty's on. He said, that's a beautiful ribbon and clock.
Aw, thanks. That goes really good on my bow display board. That's what it is now.
Did you see the board, Rusty?
Yes. It's now my bow display board.
And I hate to say it, but yes, you might be getting some orders. If you can do it. If you can take it.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and flip these in. You just might have to give up the whole real estate thing. And you're going to have to get a garage. A really nice workshop. So, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I always build my wires when I'm attaching them to the sign from the back because I don't want the wires to hang out the sides. I want them to be behind the sign. So if you want them that way, you need to build them that way. So just put a couple twists in there so that it creates a little bit of a base for the wire. And then we are just going to, I'll be pulling some of my Cruffles in and out for this to fit in here. So I'm just going to go right to my frame. I'm just going to lightly attach it because a lot of times you need to move it after you establish it. You know, it's not quite sitting where you want it to. And as you can see, I'm trying to pull some of my Cruffles out of the way, which I kind of like right there. So right where it's sitting is where I'm going to kind of just put in 2 little short twists. We'll go in here and pull these out. We go right to our frame.
He said, Kat, my bows were terrible, but I can't tell you how many videos I've watched fast forwarding to the bow making. Well, last week I made one and it wasn't your amazingness, but so it turned out really nice.
You know what's funny is just practice. I can't tell you at what point, like how long did it take before you were really good at bows? I don't know, just one day, you know, you keep making bows and you keep learning from what you're doing, and then one day you just have it, and then from that point on it's like habit, because we've been developing those habits as we've been learning. So let's go ahead and add our bow. I need it to kind of sit right about there so that we still get that gorgeous view, which means sadly some of you guys are going to have to move over. So I just want to get one of my pipe cleaners down so then I can rotate where I want my loops to be. And then I can go ahead and push the other piece down. And you don't want to pull too hard because you just spent all that time fluffing. But sometimes you have to push some of your Cruffle curls down away from your bow because they just sit up too high. So I'm going to go ahead and let that sit, see where that falls. Some of these you might have to just help find new homes. Up, up, up. Okay, let's flip this way and see what's happening under here, which is a big Cruffle. So I'm going to tuck that under, and right when I do that, it lets my bow lay where it needs to. Really want this one in, and you lay down. There you go.
Jane says, I love to make bows, and they're quick to do.
Yeah, unless you're like, I don't know, I I made bows all weekend long because we needed bows. You need bows when you're decorating your house for Christmas. You go, that would look pretty with a bow on it. So let's make a bow for it.
Yeah, because every time you make a wreath, I say this is the best one, but this one is stunning.
Thank you. I always say that too, where I'm like, do I really want to list that one? This would look so pretty on the front door.
For sale.
It is available for sale. So if you like this, this is the only one I'm doing. So this is available at KatsCreationsNMore.com, which I think you have already pinned, right, babe?
I pinned it, but it doesn't show up as pinned. It's really weird.
There we go. I was trying to get my Cruffles to lay where I want my tails of my ribbon to wind up. And there's just this one right here that was underneath this ribbon. So it wasn't allowing it to lay flat along the edge of my sign. There we go. Okay. So there we go. There's that one. So I'm going to look for a couple things. So number one, I definitely know I want to put in the center one of these gold glitter balls. It's going to go right in the center. And then, I don't know if we'll have room for it. Let me look. I have these gold curly Q picks. So I am going to cut one of these off just so I can kind of play with it. Because I want it to kind of have some movement in my bow. These are from Hobby Lobby in the Christmas section. So you can find those there. Let's put one more in. And they're wired all the way down. Let's put this one here. Let's put you.
Notice it's so beautiful. Once again, you've outdone yourself with this gorgeous wreath.
Oh, thanks.
Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous.
I am looking. I have these really nice picks that I thought resemble fireworks, but I'm looking like I'm trying to just place them.
Not sure if you like them or not.
I know I like them. I'm just not sure where I want to put them. Like a. What do you think? Like that? Or do you? What do you think?
I think the bottom one needs to be a little bit further to the left, but that's just me.
This over here?
Yeah.
Then it goes up and down. That throws me off.
Gotcha.
So I just don't like straight up and down.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm kind of looking at those. Let me take these down so I'm not seeing the whole huge stick in the way. Let's see. Will these work? Oh, yes. So my favorite wire cutters. Just makes such simple work of that.
We just gave a pair of those away the other day.
Yeah, if you guys are not participating in my 12 Days of Christmas giveaway, make sure you're following my page. So just like and follow the page. That way, when I post a 12 Days of Christmas giveaway post once a day that basically tells you what time I'm going to be giving away. We've given away a wood burning tool kit. We've given away metal hole punch. We've given away a set of my favorite wire cutters, Sure Bonder glue gun. Yeah, and so the prizes just keep getting better the longer the 12 Days of Christmas keeps going. So if you guys are missing out on that, make sure you're tuning in. So
Maureen.
Going
Sarah
to.
said those are cute. They have watch buttons at Jan's with that would go good with that sign.
They have what?
So they have like buttons that Joanne's that would go good with that sign.
Right.
Susan, yeah, I have seen you. She said I've been on there every day
Mm-hmm.
for the gift giveaways. Yeah.
Okay, I am
So
just...
is Brenda. So there's been a bunch of gals on there.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. So we're kind of doing some in the morning, some in the evening, so that, you know, everybody who works has an opportunity to do that. And then the final day of the giveaway will be on December the 12th. And so I'm just gluing the end of the stem because that's going to really adhere nicely to the mesh. And then let me glue my curlicues in and we will be done with this design.
Those are some absolutely stunning wreath. Thank you for all the likes and the loves.
Thanks everyone, and thank you for staying so late, those of you that are on the West Coast, because I know that right now, I mean, I respect your guys' time, so I appreciate the fact that you have stayed as long as you have.
And please feel free to like and share this on your page.
Oh yeah, and if you guys want to come join my private group, I do have a private group. That's also available on the website. It's $17 a month, and you get a grand total of 8 tutorials per month. And then in January, we're switching from our design tutorials, which we do exclusively from August through the end of the year. We move from business to creating, and you can join yearly or monthly. Yearly, you buy 10 months and then you get 2 months for free. So, or you can do the $17 a month and just give it a go and see what you think. But let me go ahead and flip this around so you guys can see what that looks like. Is that about right, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. So this design is done. It'll be it's already in my shop. I'll take pictures of it tomorrow so that you can see what it looks like in the daylight, because obviously it's already dark here in California. But thank you guys for staying with me. Watch for the post tomorrow for tomorrow's giveaway and private group. I will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock for our design class. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your week.